Hey y'all. So happy Tuesday to everybody. Hey Cajun. So we're gonna give people a few minutes to get here and give the notification a chance to go out. Hey George. Hey Amazon. George, I caught some of that panel from, I think that was yesterday that you did with O'Shea. You made some really good points. So that's what's up. I like that. That was good. Hey Kevlar. Hey Beats by Blue. Yes, 7:30-ish. I know sometimes you just gotta give your girl a little time, okay? But hey Ernest, I'm doing good. Hey Antonio. So I'm gonna give people a few minutes to come in here, y'all. So, but I'm doing pretty good, y'all. I'm a little tired, just a little bit. So I probably won't be on here too long. It's funny because every single time I say that, the time I be on here never changes. But for some reason, I always think the next time I say that will be the time that I actually make that happen. But that never happens. So maybe it'll happen tonight. I'm thinking it will. But hey, egg beaters. But hopefully everybody is doing good. Hey, Valdis, if you're new, definitely make sure you let me know where you're from. Hey, Edward. Yes, I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing good too. I'm enjoying my summer. It's been a little cooler this year than normal. And so it's just been really beautiful and feeling so good outside. So I just been enjoying the sun, enjoying the summer. Hey, Akeem. Hey, humble servant. But yeah, so haven't been doing too much. But hopefully y'all saw the title. So you know what we are here to talk about today. So apparently it's Pride Month. Hey, David. Yeah. Hey, Deborah. But apparently it's Pride Month. So there have been a lot of activities and festivities that have been going on. And there are a lot of companies that are using Pride Month to basically advertise products, sell things, sell emotions. I told y'all, particularly with women, it's really easy to make us buy usually if you can appeal to us emotionally. So there's a lot of that going on this month. I can't even talk, y'all. Social justice is kind of like the new, marketing scheme, new marketing ploy and things like that or whatever. But so before I jump right into that, I did want to address my video that I did the other day. That was only one day ago I did that. No. I want to talk about my video that I did about the most honest feminists in modern day history. So hopefully y'all have seen two of my latest videos. One was the most honest feminists in modern day history, and then the one about Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue says sex work is real work. So if you have been watching my channel for a while or not, I just want to make something clear about my channel going forward so people can really understand my platform, like where I stand and where I'm kind of going with this. So I've been telling y'all, like, a lot of this, as I learn this stuff or I come across stuff or I find out stuff, I share with y'all. Or if there are things that's going on kind of like behind the scenes, and the media is not really talking about it. Like, I'll let people know and stuff like that. And so my video with the most honest feminist in modern day history was basically where a lady was basically saying she was very honest and adamant about her position on the family structure, and also about her position on abortion. She feel like abortion is killing. She said this. These are her words, not mine. She said that she feel like abortion should be a type of legalized and normalized killing. And she basically just talked about, life and death, and she feels like we should have more control over that, I guess is a good way to explain it. But y'all can go back and watch the video if y'all haven't seen it, because she breaks it down. I showed a video where she says everything. But I was basically saying how I respected the woman for being honest. And I know that some people might find that shocking, right? Like, oh my gosh, she's such an evil human being, RhondaMary. How could you possibly say that? Oh my God, how could you say you respect evilness? Okay, this is the deal. At the end of the day, evil will always exist. Always. It has been here from the beginning, and it will be here to the end. Where I come in is, I do not have this belief that people are monolithic at all. That's across nations, across cultures, races, religions, whatever. People are not monolithic. People have varying ideas and philosophies and agendas and all of this. I do not have this grand idea that one day all of us are just going to grab hands and walk into the freaking sunset and sing Kumbaya, okay? I just don't. The fact of the matter is, why I'm here is my only intention is to share truth with people and let them decide for themselves. So in that case, by me saying that, it is much easier for me to tell somebody that doesn't watch the news, doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know what's going on in the world. It is very easy if I am having a discussion about abortion with a friend and she's like, girl, I'm not into politics. I don't really care about that. Just let me know what's going on. And I say, okay, I'm going to pick one person I'm going to represent how I feel, and then I'm going to let this other person represent the other side of abortion. If I had to pick between that lady, and I think her name was Sophie, right? And Sophie just puts it out on the table, and she's like, look, abortion, I think, should be a legalized killing. If the mom don't want to do all that work during pregnancy, bam, she shouldn't have to. It is what it is. I'm gangster with it. I'm putting it on the table. I'm done, okay? That's her position. If I have to choose between her and showing my friend Miley Cyrus, who puts abortion on a cake and makes it look tasty and scrumptious and, rainbows and butterflies and clouds, I'm sorry. I'm going to choose Sophie every time. I would not have a platform if it was not for people like Miley Cyrus, because instead of coming out and giving people a spectrum or differing perspectives to how to look at issues, they try to normalize these things by using cupcake slogans and terms, and they constantly over talk issues to not get down to the bottom of what's really going on. So if we're going to have people that are going to talk about stats, talk about facts, say, look, this is what it is, it's killing. Yes, I respect it. And yes, I think we need more honest people in the world. So I will continue doing what I do. If y'all have not seen that video, make sure you check it out. Sometimes I know y'all don't get the notifications for my videos. So sometimes when I get in my live, I'll just let y'all know that I've, posted a few in like the last couple of days or whatever. And so that's it. But I'll always be here to remind y'all that. Okay? But anyway, hey DJ Moss. Also, I did a video the other day. Teen Vogue says sex work is real work. If y'all have not seen that video, please make sure you check it out. Teen Vogue is proposing sex work to teenage girls as some type of, outstanding career. And albeit though y'all know how I feel about the government overreach, I absolutely believe that grown women should be able to make their choice if they so decide, okay? But I am not going to promote that, nor am I going to champion that, okay? Especially knowing, like I said again, hey Michael, when we look at statistics, right? And so if you look at the statistics of people that are in sex work, most of them, you're going to see a lot of drug abuse. You're going to see a lot of physical abuse. You're going to see a lot of childhood trauma. You're going to see a lot of like desperation for money. And all these other things. You're going to see a higher rate of STDs. All these things that come with sex work. And so, like I said, it's all about people really seeing like a bigger picture, a fuller picture. But anyway, we are really getting to the point where the sexualization of children is being taken to a whole new level. At this point, it's just, it's a sight to see. I always mention to y'all how they are literally in California calling pedophilia a orientation in California schools. So it's just a lot going on right now. But anyway, so that leads me into my topic for tonight. The Huffington Post says, yes, children can handle kink at Pride, the Pride Festival. And so when I say kink literally means odd sexual behavior or not normal, abnormal. Let me get y'all the actual definition because that might make it even better. And this literally deals with sexuality. In human sexuality, kinkiness is the use of unconventional sexual practices, concepts, or fantasies. The term derives from the idea of a bend in one's sexual behavior to contrast such behavior with straight or vanilla sexual mores and proclivities. Hey, Scott, I was just talking about that. My notification's not going out. Now, y'all know what type of person I am. Grown people are grown people. Grown people should make their decisions. This is your life, not mine. Grown people should make grown people's decisions, okay? Live your best life. Hashtag live your best life. But my thing is, when you start to bring the kids into it, hey, Lavon, when you start to bring the children into it, when you start to normalize these things, normalize these discussions in our schools, in our school systems, as somebody that has worked in the inner cities, as somebody that has worked in school systems, I do not consent. I do not agree. And for the states and for the social structure that has made it more and more challenging for people to homeschool their children, the degradation and the just the, I mean, what we see happening to the family structure, I just, I can't. And then the thing is, this is the crazy part about it, right? Because it's like science. We have years of science, decades, to suggest that children are malleable, okay? Children are malleable. They are more susceptible to taking on people's traits, people's personalities. They are more susceptible to their environment. Their brains are still developing. A lot of people suffer from childhood trauma that they take into their adult lives. We see how oftentimes people are a product of their environment. We know, like, this is straight up common knowledge. Like, this is common knowledge. Like, everybody knows this. But time and time again, I've told y'all how these people will, when it's something they're with, they will talk around the issue, right? Like, now it's different. Like, we've always known how susceptible children are to their environment and the conditions around them. But now it's like, oh, they're good. Children are not really affected by that. I mean, they can see all that stuff. They can hear all that. But I mean, they're still going to be who they want to be anyway. Really? We have all the data that says otherwise. That says oftentimes children are going to be a product of that household, that community. Not all the time. We absolutely know not all the time. That's not the case all the time. Some people are able to escape those conditions, but oftentimes children carry on what they are taught. So anyway, let's get to this article. So this is from the Huffington Post. Are pride parades kid friendly? Parents say children can't handle the KINK. A question about whether pride is sexualized got a lot of people talking. Each year in the blazing sun of the Pride Parade in Nelson, BC, Pega Wren and her two young grandkids seek shade under their spinning rainbows parasails. Wren, a semi-retired sex therapist, told Huffington Post Canada that parasols were a magical find and have come to symbolize the importance of this event for her family. So this just goes on to talk about her kids and all this. We're going to move on. So the post asks parade participants not to sexualize pride and to leave their fetish and kink at home for the sake of minors. Anyone has been to a parade has likely seen the procession of leather, animal costumes, kinky costumes in every hue, and more skin that is normally exposed in public. Although the post and account have since been deleted, the tweet got many people talking. How child appropriate are pride festivities? So somebody literally posted telling people, come, let me see if the tweet is up here. Is it up here? The tweet was literally telling people, like, come enjoy Pride. Oh, here it is. A few reminders for Pride Month. 1, large corporations just want your money. 2, lesbian exclusion is ugly. 3, trans women of color are the only ones that lead the fight for our rights. 4, please don't bring your kinks, fetishes to Pride. There are minors in Pride, and this can sexualize the event. So this post, which this person is obviously a Pride supporter. But this person got backlash for number 4 to the point where the post ended up being removed. Although the post and account have since been deleted, the tweet got many people talking how child appropriate are Pride festivities, and why does the discussion hit a nerve for the LGBT community? At some level, this has always been a part of a much larger debate of what Pride is. David Rayside, a retired politics and sexual diversity professor at the University of Toronto. Pride has always had a kind of outrageous edge to it, and should we alter that? It is not the Santa Claus parade, and it never was, and it shouldn't be, and it can't be. I've seen thousands of kids at Pride, and I've never seen anyone fuss about what they see there. In fact, many parents will fuss at the thought of not bringing these kids to these events. Pride is fun for kids, an important cultural festival. There is absolutely no reason not to take our kids to Pride. It's a fun day. There are a lot of bubbles, rainbow streamers, and enjoyable performances. It's their right as a parent. This goes on and on. And this was particularly in Canada, but you do know the same things are going on here. The tensions around who and what belongs at Pride are heightened this year at the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riot stands in contrast to the consumer culture that has become synonymous with the season. After the June 1969 raid of New York gave bar to Stonewall Inn, and a series of uprisings began and sparked the gay liberation movement, the first Pride March took place 1 year after those raids. And so basically they're trying to make it seem like, oh, this is a learning experience for our children. Of course it is. Look at this. Politics have a prominent place in Pride, but it's also about outrage, a time when some in the community express this in ways that confront normal sensibilities. The freedom to do so is embedded within LGBTQ culture and history. These expressions are the most colorful during the parade. First of all, nobody likes nakedness more than children. On the list of things that I don't want my children ever to be exposed to are compulsory heterosexuality, demonstrations of sexism, demonstrations of racism, demonstrations of ableism, violence. These are all way higher on the list than some homosexuals' tushies. Children benefit from seeing people loving one another. From seeing diversity and inclusion, children suffer from seeing violence and fear, hatred, and divisiveness. Brand said, we found and built our tribe at these gatherings. So when they talk about this, when they say kink, fantasies, we're talking about men being walked around on leashes. We're talking about men walking around with colorful, phallic designed costumes. We're talking about men walking around with their penises in a colorful sock. We're talking about people pretty much walking around naked. Because we want to come together to celebrate penises. There's literally a picture of several men who were being walked around on leashes. And I couldn't find that picture. I don't know what happened to that picture, but it was probably like 5 or 6 men, I think, in a circle, all being walked around on their knees on leashes. And this is what was happening. There was a video, people twerking, all on the police car, twerking up a storm, twerking all over the place. This is a festival to celebrate sexuality, to celebrate sexual freedom. That's literally what it is. I am not in the business of telling grown people what to do for grown people. I never have. I can suggest things. I can give you stats. I can give you facts. I can give you data. I can say, hey, I researched this. What do you think about it? I could challenge you. But I'm not in the business of trying to make you choose any certain lifestyle. It's just not who I am. I believe that adult people are free to do and be who they want to be. But it would be very ignorant of me and ill-advised, after all of the studies I've seen and the research that suggests that children are basically like sponges, to sit there and turn around and think that a celebration for sexuality at ages where children should be learning how to read, how to count, how to speak in full sentences, learning about themselves, who they are as people, well beyond their sexuality, because their sexuality certainly does not define them. Neither does their gender, believe it or not. It does not define their character or their intrinsic nature, who they are as people, the career path they'll choose. And so I don't see how that's limiting in itself to make children believe that sexuality is the forefront of who they are as people. Okay? I think most of us are adults here. We can agree that sex is an important part of life. It literally, it's where conception happens. It's the process of life. And so yes, adults do engage in sexual activity. But it is not the forefront or foundation of people's personalities. I just believe I'm letting children be children. Um, and so y'all, this is like progressively getting worse, where we live in a highly hyper sexualized society. And it's so odd that it's common knowledge that children are affected by their surroundings, that children are affected by what they see, that children can be groomed. You literally have the studies of things like Stockholm syndrome, right? That literally suggest that, like, if you tell somebody something for long enough, or you treat them a certain way for long enough, how it literally changes the chemistry of their brain and how they think and operate. The whole basis of psychology. But now it's different. It's not that, like, y'all, I'm just confusion. And people are acting like, like this is like normal or acceptable behavior. But children aren't allowed to do so much else. It's so much else that children are not allowed to do, but for some reason, all of a sudden, these sexual conversations, like, everybody's just super okay with that now. But when it comes to these children changing their gender, when it comes to going to a pride festival, now it's about autonomy and children making up their own minds, children making their own decisions, children being inclusive, and having all these rights. And then you have the media like Huffington Post that this is already happening. But what makes it even worse, you go as so far as to further legitimize it. You literally have the media legitimizing this. Okay? I did a video a couple of weeks ago telling y'all how there was a Netflix series documentary that came out with it was like a 16-year-old dating a guy that was like in his 60s or something like that. I think they were like a 50-year age difference, I think. The media normalizing this, pushing it to the masses, We know things happen, okay? Things happen. You have a spectrum of things happening from straight up just pure evil and people with agendas to things that I feel like just slip through the nets. But you literally have a media that suggests these things to you, exacerbates these things, and literally normalizes them. And the fact of the matter is, we live in a society where if you come out and even question it, you're automatically something, you're anti something, you're phobic something, you're some type of ism. They're going to hit you with every word to make you feel like you don't understand, your opinion is invalid. What you're saying doesn't matter. You're just a hateful person. When the fact of the matter is, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about grown people's kinks and sexual fantasies. I really don't. I don't. I think that's a personal issue and whatever. But, this belief that we can literally, to the fact of we can see how a child's father not being in the home can affect them. We can see how children being introduced to sexual things at an early age affects them. Like R. Kelly being one of the prime examples of that in the media. Now, some people might try to conflate, sex acts versus sexual, events or sexual activities, but it's all sex based. Like, literally, an article says it. You use the freaking word kink in the title. Like, how much forward? You can't get more forward than that. They're literally just putting it on the table. And these people, y'all, the title, are Pride Parade's kid friendly? Parents say children can handle the king. How can you get more forward than that? Thank you, Valdez. Muxie Diva said we have laws. Kids cannot give informed consent. And I also wanted to show y'all this as well. Because I don't know if y'all know, but Vermont just made it where children will be able to undergo surgeries and procedures to change their gender. And not only that, hey Esau, I was saying I'm a little sleepy, but not only that, it's going to be taxpayer funded. You can go online, y'all, and y'all can hear horror stories about people having transitions that, is not functional, they go wrong, things like that. And not to say some people are not pleased with the results, but I'm literally talking about when it comes to children. Children are still developing. I want to Google right now, like, at what age do kids stop developing physically. The fastest rate of growth is usually 1 to 2 years after puberty has started. Developing physically into adulthood takes 2 to 5 years. Most boys will stop growing taller by age 16 and will usually have fully developed by 18. Okay? So not even fully physically developed to 18, but we're green lighting children to have these procedures. This is straight up science. Like, I mean, at what age? Like, yeah, like, oh my God. I'm sorry, but I'm shocked. At what age does a brain stop developing? Age 25. This is from Rochester EDU, which means there was most likely some type of taxpayer funded research that went into this school to do this research to know this. At what age does the brain stop developing? Age 25. The rational part. The rational part. Let's just, because I gotta break it down, because like I'm like, and sometimes I even have to remind myself, like, Rhonda, you're not crazy. Like, it's right here in front of us. Rational, based on or in accordance with reason or logic. Clear-eyed, sound, sober, sensible, coherent, intelligent, well advised. Okay? The coherent part, the intelligent part, the the well advised part of a teen's brain isn't fully developed and won't be until age 25 or so. In fact, not in opinion, recent research has found that adult and teen brains work differently. Adults think with the prefrontal cortex, the brain's rational part. What's the opposite of rational? Irrational. Literally. Right here in black and white, they will tell you that children are irrational. This is what this says to me. Literally. You know how when you used to do those papers in college, and they would say, okay, go read the information, go research, and then go summarize it. Put it in your own words. What this says to me is children aren't rational. Children are irrational. Children have the ability and probably are more likely to be irrational than adults with full working thinking brains. This is from the encyclopedia in black and white. But yet, somehow, some way, the media believes that children as young as 9, 10, 11, 12 can make long-lasting decisions about their body, y'all. Literally, like something we only get one of. Hey, Raymond. Hey, you right? I'm just trying to make it make sense. I'm really trying to rationalize in my head how the media is able to do this. How is the media able to fool people into believing that children are rational enough to make such decisions? For the life of me, I cannot understand it. How so many people are able to get caught up in the fray and just go along with this when I'm showing y'all right here. And I always suggest go research for yourself. There has been research for several years. They have studied when the physical body stops developing, when the brain stops developing, the ages that children are when it's easiest for them to soak up information or learn the quickest, absorb information. All of this has been studied for years. This is not new. But you know what is new? Everything that goes against this, everything that goes against what we've always known. This, kids being here, that's new. Anyway, so I wanted y'all to know, right? Because you have some people who is so odd to me. It's so weird to me that you have certain groups of people that only believe in evilness and agendas and people's ability to be immoral when it's not what they agree with. And what I mean by that is that, for example, the same people that believe that doctors are intentionally or subconsciously, right, killing Black women, Black mothers in labor, in maternity at higher rates than any other group of women. They will give you the stats. They will give you the facts. They think that doctors are completely evil in that right. But those same group of women will turn around and say, oh, when it's a woman's body, it should be between her and her doctor. Like, what? So do you trust doctors or not trust doctors? The same people will know that there are people that are grooming children, girls that are 16, 15, 16, 17, 18. You have sexual predators. You have older men that may try to, attract these women, allure them, whatever. But somehow you don't feel the same way when it comes to sexual proclivities of people at sexual festivals. You don't believe that these people could also slip through the cracks? Anyway, I believe evil is evil, and me, I probably just don't trust nobody. But anyway, so my point in saying it was, sorry y'all, but there's this idea that, oh, parents wouldn't do that. Parents wouldn't persuade their children to change genders. Why would a parent do that? A parent knows what's best for their children. It is completely possible. Parents do all type of things. Bad parents do all type of things to children, all kinds. And so people completely understand that. In any other sense, any other argument available, but somehow all of a sudden now when it comes to this, people just blind. Oh no, that could never happen, right? Anyway, do I believe that there are some children that actually have these feelings, that they are inside them, inside of their head? Yes. But there are outside influences that affect children every day. You can literally look at studies that connect people's sexual fantasies to childhood trauma. This is available information. I mean, it's not, I don't know if that's common knowledge, but it's like has been studied. Anyway, so yes, there are people, some who want their children to be opposite gender, who kind of persuade their children, or might um it's a certain term that I'm looking for. They basically affirm them, right? But anyway, so this is actually from CNN, and this is going on, I think it said in Afghanistan. They wanted a son so much they made their daughter live as a boy. At first glance, 13-year-old Mangal Karami could be any boy living in a small village in western Afghanistan, hauling firewood and feeding cattle on his father's farm. Silently, he hurries between chores, a slight figure in luminous white trainers lugging jerry cans of water across barren fields. Until the age of 2, Mangal was Mandina, one of 7 daughters chosen by her parents to live as a boy under Afghan tradition called Bacha Pash, a dowry term that translates to dress as a boy. For as long as Mango can remember, he tucks his long hair under a woolen cap, pulls on his jacket and trousers, and helps his father tend their wheat and dairy farm in the snow-capped village. In Afghanistan's deeply patriarchal society, sons are highly valued over daughters, to the point where a family is deemed incomplete without a boy. Now, this is telling y'all, albeit this is in Afghanistan, this is literally telling you how societal pressures have legitimized these ideas about gender to the point where they literally wanted to change their girl into a boy. And y'all don't think that that could happen here with everything that's in the media? For some parents to not even, because sometimes people have subconscious ideas that manifest outwardly. It could be a parent that doesn't even know that they are affirming this, or does not even fully realize that they are affirming this in their child, but could be absolutely doing so because the media says, uh oh, we're in a patriarchal society. The society favors men. And now before you know it, because your little girl that was playing with trucks, playing with guns, playing with toy soldiers, now you are affirming that she is a boy because of the ideas that you have taken on from society. In Afghanistan's deeply patriarchal society, sons are highly valued over daughters to the point where a family is deemed incomplete without a boy. An Afghan American pediatrician and author of the best-selling book, blah, blah, blah. Girls are brought up believing they are a burden on the family, who has interviewed several parents and Bakapash children. Women cannot earn money to support their families. They cannot live alone. And so many reasons like this lead them in this patriarchal society to practice Basha Pash. The centuries-old tradition says much about the discrimination faced by Afghan girls, quite literally from the moment they're born. After all, no one who has only sons in transforming them into a daughter. The transition is temporary, and Bakapash children are expected to shed their male identities once they hit puberty and return to living as girls, something that doesn't always come easily. Why do you think this doesn't always come easily? I just talked about the fact that children are very susceptible. It is proven in history, in science, time and time again. Childhood are some of the most precious and valuable years for really shaping the foundational pieces of who a person is. Can that person change? Yes, sometimes, but a lot of people are hunted by their past. A lot of people are hunted by their upbringing. A lot of people are shaped on the surface level, foundationally, by their upbringing. Okay? This is why oftentimes you have a lot of people who carry on the traditions of their family, whether that may be religion, culture. This is now like a sexual subculture that's going on, or whatever you want to call it. But this just goes on, and I'll link this article below if y'all want to take a look at it. But it's pretty interesting. I didn't know this was going on, and this was part of Afghan culture. And I think that's pretty interesting. But the psychological hurdles that child would have to, because they're literally assigning this child male pronouns, dressing the child like a boy, and all these other things. And the psychological and mental hurdles that child would have to overcome to move back into society as a girl when they are so susceptible and a sponge and children are learning. I just don't see that as being an easy task. But I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna hop off. But I talk to y'all about these things, so because I'm learning this stuff too. A lot of this stuff I didn't freaking know is going on in the world. And sometimes, like, this stuff that's going on, the media doesn't shed a light on, different aspects and different spectrums of what's going on with these social norms and all these social activities and, everything the media is championing right now. So I try to bring like another level of like conversation to it or whatever. But The worst thing I think could have ever happened, and to me, tell me if this makes sense to y'all, and I'm gonna try to make it make sense, and tell me if y'all agree. Because to me, this seems biased within itself. I feel like I feel like oftentimes if you watch um anything about LGBTQ rights and all this, they often talk about gender being on a spectrum, right? Meaning that I watched this one particular video, I think it was on Vice News, where the dad kept asking the child, do you feel like a boy today or do you feel like a girl? Do you want me to use your boy pronouns today or do you want me to use your girl pronouns? And this is my thing. And I think this is biased and kind of hypocritical within itself, like within this discussion. To me, it is actually biased. And like I said, y'all let me know if it makes sense. But to me, it seems that if my little girl likes trucks, cars, she likes to go fishing, she likes to play basketball, for me to tell my little girl that makes you a boy, or today that makes you masculine or boy like, how is that not discriminatory in itself? Because you are literally telling kids that to have these certain activities, today your gender is on a spectrum and you have to be a boy today. Instead of affirming your child, to me, it seems more empowering that you could be a girl who likes trucks. You can be a girl who likes sports. You can be a girl and achieve those same things. To me, that seems more empowering than telling my little girl, oh, you like those things? You must be a boy. That's actually offensive and hypocritical, because in itself, on the very foundation, is very, very biased. So a lot of these LGBTQ people, specifically when it comes to transgenderism, actually uphold the same gender stereotypes they say they are against. Now, y'all tell me if that makes sense. Because if that does not make sense, I promise you, the whole conversation is over my head. To me, it is empowering to fully be a woman, embrace my womanhood, embrace my gender, embrace how I was born, and still be able to do that same job, still be able to do that same hobby, still be able to hang with the best of them, regardless of if our gender is the same or different. But to tell your child, to see your little girl playing with trucks and say, oh, you must be a boy, or you are very masculine. That's something ism. That's got to be one of those isms. I'm just saying. That in itself is wrong. How is it like Y'all let me know. I would never do that to my girl. I would never do that to my boy. I just wouldn't do that. I don't have this belief that genders or people are monolithic. I know some women, fully women, who dominate in male space. I don't want to say male spaces, but male dominated fields, right? I also know some men, fully men, straight up men, who have hobbies, careers, activities that are dominated by women. Just imagine your boy being in high school saying, Mom, I think I want to be a nurse when I grow up. And you telling your child, oh, you're a woman today, or you're more on the woman spectrum. But hey, I mean, it's just, you know, what I think. But so if that, I mean, it just doesn't, to me, logically, rationally, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And to tell children that gender is on a spectrum, you are literally promoting and upholding the very thing you claim to be against. Yes, you absolutely, positively can have women that have more masculine traits, because we would typically assign those traits to men. Yes, you can have men who might have what we would call some feminine traits because we would typically assign those traits to women. But that does not automatically make that man a woman, nor does it make him more womanish or woman-like today. It just makes him a man that wants to be a nurse or likes sewing or likes knitting or likes doing hair. So what if we could affirm our kids in that? But anyway, so those are my thoughts about that, y'all. But I will keep bringing these stories to y'all, let y'all know what's going on every other day. It's like the media is going further and further to normalize everything that science has already established. I don't particularly care what grown people do, what you're into. the life that you want to lead. I do not care. I have never cared about sexual festivals or parades or gatherings for any group of people. The other day, I actually saw somebody compare the pride parades to Freaknik. I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't even know if they still do Freaknik. Is it Freaknik or Freaknik? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, somebody compared Pride to Freaknik. Were kids in Freaknik? Do children go to spring break? Y'all remember Girls Gone Wild? As much as a lot of older adults hated that, they felt like it was I don't know, like some type of failure to society. Regardless, those are grown people making grown people decisions, doing grown people things. But I will advocate for the children. I will always advocate for the children. Freaknik. I will always advocate for the children to be children and remain children. And I am not okay with, and I told y'all I'm an across the board type of person. So I am not okay with children attending any type of sexual celebration at all, whether that be Pride Festival, Freaknik, Girls Gone Wild, any of that. But oh, picnic, Freaknik. Okay, thank you. But y'all, I never been to that. But I remember when people used to talk about it, talk about like how wild people would get and stuff like that. And young people, young adults, they're gonna do what they do. Those people have fully functioning brains and participate in activities that they are legally able to participate in. But anyway, but Freaknik is nuts and dangerous. My God, I've never even been to one, honestly. I don't really know that much about it. I've only heard about it. I would assume it's kind of similar to like the spring break type things where people drink a lot and dance and walk around in swimsuits or, stuff like that. But yeah, picture me creeping. They're definitely coming after the kids, and when it comes to the kids, it's really getting real. So that's definitely what they're doing in a lot of facets. So, but when I see stuff like this, I'll continue bringing it to y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up so this video could get out. Like y'all, YouTube literally hates me. And I don't know if I fully accepted it yet, but I used to get 80 up to 100 people in my lives. And now I have more followers. I have double the followers, and I get a third of people in my lives because lack of notifications. I don't show up on people's home feed and stuff like that. So it really, really sucks. But so y'all, please keep sharing my videos. Thank y'all for always supporting me. And hopefully I will do some more videos this week. So, but all right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Bye.